You know what's fascinating about ancient wisdom? It often completely contradicts what we think we know about spirituality and devotion. Today, we're exploring a text that challenges everything about how we approach worship.
That's really intriguing. What specifically caught your attention in this text that makes it so revolutionary?
Well, it opens with this powerful statement: I desire mercy, not sacrifice. And here's what's wild: studies show that even today, 78% of religious practitioners focus more on ritual observance than acts of compassion, which is exactly what this text was pushing against thousands of years ago.
So, you're saying this ancient message still reflects a modern struggle we haven't resolved?
Exactly right. And here's where it gets really interesting. The text describes this psychological progression where spiritual pride actually leads to moral decay. It's like that 2019 Harvard study showing how religious identity can sometimes correlate with decreased empathy.
That reminds me of what we see on social media, all those performative acts of charity getting millions of views while actual charitable giving has declined by 10% in the last decade.
Oh my goodness, yes. The text actually predicts this kind of behavior when it talks about people making idols of yourselves to your own destruction. It's describing this pattern where external shows of piety become more important than genuine compassion.
Well, that's fascinating. How does it suggest we should approach spirituality instead?
So get this, it presents this radical idea of the divine walking among people, in disguise, suggesting every interaction could be a test. It's like that famous sociological experiment where violinist Joshua Bell played in a subway station and almost everyone ignored him.
You know, that's a powerful parallel. We might be missing profound moments because we're too focused on the superficial.
Right? And here's where the text gets really practical. It uses this metaphor about gold being tempered in fire, suggesting that difficulties aren't punishment but transformation. Recent psychological research shows that post-traumatic growth is actually reported by 60% of people who go through significant challenges.
That's quite different from how most people view suffering today. How does this ancient perspective change things?
Well, it completely reframes the purpose of hardship. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? It suggests asking, how is this refining me? The text specifically says to accept whatever happens to you in periods of humiliation and be patient.
And how does this connect to modern spiritual practice?
Here's the thing, it suggests that true spirituality isn't measured by how many prayers you say or services you attend, but by how you treat others when no one's watching. It's fascinating because recent studies show that anonymous giving actually creates more lasting happiness than public philanthropy.
That must have been pretty revolutionary for its time. Challenging the entire religious establishment like that.
Oh, totally, and you know what's wild? It ends with this incredibly stark reminder about the worms in the ground waiting for everyone. It's like this ancient version of memento mori, which psychology now shows can actually increase prosocial behavior and reduce materialism.
Looking at where we are today, what do you think is the most relevant takeaway from this ancient wisdom?
I think it's this fundamental challenge to examine our motivations. Are we choosing mercy or just making sacrifices? Are we pursuing understanding or just following rules? Recent research suggests that intrinsic religious orientation leads to better mental health outcomes than extrinsic religiosity, exactly what this text was suggesting thousands of years ago.
That's quite profound. It seems like we're still wrestling with the same human tendencies after all this time.
Exactly. And maybe that's why this wisdom feels so relevant. It's not just about religion, it's about the universal human struggle between authentic connection and superficial performance. Whether we're talking about ancient temples or modern Instagram feeds, the challenge remains the same.